Wait a second. That can't be right. Quick, Kanata, get the hat. So one more time, thanks for 200 everybody. In this video, I thought I would put together one big collection of things I think would help everybody. I've been getting a lot of requests on like getting started with Smartdoll and which doll to pick, which accessories to get and things like that. So I present getting started with Smartdoll, and that's what we're gonna cover today. The first question you need to ask yourself is, are you okay with the expense? These dolls are super cool, but they're also really expensive. Now I know that's kind of relative, but at least for me, and most people I know, these dolls are super expensive. So you need to decide if you're okay with that. You need to decide if there are other 1/3 size dolls maybe that you want, or just other, smaller dolls that you'd be interested in that are more in your price range. So that's the first one. These dolls are expensive. They're about $500, I think, give or take a little bit. And that doesn't even factor in like clothing and accessories and additional hands and things like that. So ask yourself first if you're okay with the price. As long as you're okay with that hurdle, let's get into it. So this is probably the most important part, is picking which one you want. For me, I'll give you a real quick summary on how I decided. I was originally looking for a figure doll that I could use for like drawing and shading and things like that. And I just searched for like drawing doll or something like that on Instagram and came across a picture of Kanata on Danny Chu's feed. And I was just super drawn to them. I thought they were really interesting. I thought the quality of the faces is like what drew me in the most. But after looking on the site, I noticed that Kanata wasn't available for another several months or so. And she didn't even have an official release date yet. But I knew right away that I wanted that one. So I decided to wait. But the reasons that I wanted Kanata is, one, I just kind of liked her look. I think she was also the first one to come with glasses, and I really like that. I'm a fan of glasses, and I think that the fact that they made a doll to sort of show off that look, I thought was kind of important. So I like the glasses. I also thought her name and the meaning that Danny Chu gave her was pretty significant for me. Based on her story, Kanata's a deep thinker. She has a lot more going on than just what you see in the surface, and I really like that. I thought I could relate to that. So anyway, that's why I ended up choosing Kanata. But let's look at what's available and talk a little bit about what you should be looking for too. So there's a ton of factors that you have to kind of consider when you're picking a doll. I mean, they have, different skin tones, they have different hair color, they have different eyes, and I think those are really important too. He also has these more realistic looking ones, in addition to like the more refined like anime look in the older dolls. So you have to think about that too. But I think there's a couple big things that you have to focus on, and the first one is expression. All the dolls have a different expression. Some of them are more similar, but like if we look at Chatos Multiverse, for instance, she's kind of got this like look, and then Prowess just has like a cute smile. Same with like Summer. Independence has this like stern look. You have to think about what expression you want, and sort of going forward with that too, what kind of like expression and moods they're going to be showing off the most, right? Because especially if you want to show off your doll to people, your friends, or on Instagram or just online, you're going to want to be taking a lot of pictures of them. And it's important to consider that, once you get a doll, you can't change their expression. It's stuck. It's who they are. So make sure that you're really thinking about the expression that you want. So I think the other major thing that you really want to consider when picking a doll too is, a lot of people that end up being doll owners end up having like a real attachment to them. And, whether you use it just for taking pictures, or you use them for making stories or whatever, or you use them for making clothes, I think you kind of want to ask yourself what your like relationship is going to be with that doll, or what you see in them. That's kind of like a introspective question. You kind of have to mull it over for yourself. But for me, another reason why I went with Kanata was because I saw some of myself in her, but also for her character that was given to her. I kind of saw things that like I aspired to as well. So you have to think about those kinds of things and see with a combination of the story, but also like the doll and their expression and just all of that put together, you know, does that feel like a companion, or do you feel a connection? I think that's the big question, is just, do you feel a connection in some way? And that should help you drive your decision most of all, probably. All right, so with all that considered, I obviously chose Kanata. I only have one doll. My wife owns a Kizuna. I also really liked Kizuna when she first was announced. I really liked the look of her face up. I think it's really pretty. But she's technically my wife's, so mine is just Kanata, and I've only had one. I've stuck with one. So since we're in the driver's seat and we're going to go through the whole process of picking out a doll and everything else, I'm going to pretend like Kanata is not my absolute favorite and that I don't own one already. But one more thing before we actually buy anything is, I would say, as a sort of like word of caution, is at least with your first one, make sure that you pick one that you're so interested, that you're so invested in, that if you only had to have one, that you would be happy. That you would be happy with that one, and that you wouldn't, you know, second guess your decision. You wouldn't have regrets about not getting another one. Always go into purchasing something like this, especially at this cost, thinking that you're only going to have the one, and could you be happy with that one? So let's go shopping. So because I don't buy dolls that often, and I don't plan to anymore, I haven't seen the incredible amount of new ones that he has. I see them online from time to time from some of you guys that post pictures of them, and I think they're really cool. But again, there's a lot of new ones for me, so it may take me some time. I am a big fan of the older ones. I really like Melody. I liked the girls that were released right after Kanata. I think Trinity was one of them. I don't know if she's sold anymore though. I like the classic face-ups. I'm not a big fan of the more realistic looking ones. So I'll be looking for one of the classic ones. My preference is for the milk skin tone. I think that they're all pretty, and I know that he has a cinnamon one that's kind of like a lightly tanned one, but I just like the original milk tones the best. Let's see. And also, what kind of expression do I want, right? I'm kind of a moody person too, so even though we're pretending like Kanata's not here, we're gonna look and see if there's a doll that's also kind of moody. See, this would be the exact opposite of what I would buy. It's great, but I'm looking for something that's sort of brooding, right? So she's not a good fit for me. Let's see, we'll pretend that the best girl is not on the page. I kind of like Resilient, even though she's got the newer, more realistic features. She's kind of pretty. I think I'd be happy with long or short hair. Let's see. I like this version of Starlight. Maybe they haven't changed her face, but I feel like they did. That one's pretty too. But let's see. Freedom is really pretty too. You know what? If I was actually buying one, I would probably buy... Let's go with Moment. I like Melody, and I think she's really classic too, but Moment's got a little bit of that broody nature, so let's pretend that we're picking her. All right, so you get on here. Danny's got this whole thing about their stories, but he also has posts linked telling you not to buy his product if you're a certain type of person. So make sure that you're a certain type of person that can buy these dolls, but also wants to and understands that they're imperfect just like us. So yeah, there it is. Don't buy until you read this. It's got lots of pictures. We'll look at all of them just because we want to make sure that we're certain. And then you can read her story. All right, so she's about taking a moment and reflecting on things maybe. And I like her. She's still got these like very sharp eyes that draw you in, but she's got that neutral mouth, and so she's pretty broody. I think we're gonna go with her. And she's got nice eye color too. That's another thing that you got to think about, right? Because you're only going to get the one set of eyes, at least initially. So make sure you're happy there. I like the blue eyes. I think they're pretty. So let's see. Vinyl body, it doesn't look like he sells them in sets anymore. He used to sell each doll with like a base outfit, but it doesn't look like he does that anymore, because you could choose like body, or you could choose like clothing with body. It doesn't look like he offers that. Anyway, okay, we're gonna add her to cart. Cool, just say, I'm stoked for Moment. Cool, we're gonna continue shopping. So we've picked out our doll. I've sort of told you everything that I would think about when I'm doing it, and I wound up picking Moment just because she was sort of the intersection of all the things that I was looking for. So after we've picked our doll, the next thing that we want to think about are clothing and accessories. Clothing is a whole pool in itself, so let's do that. Before I start browsing the site, there are a lot of different places to buy clothing at. I have a video that I'll link one of these locations where I talked about 4 or 5 different places where you can buy clothing for them. And one of them is Smartdoll Japan, but there's some other locations too. So the important thing to think about going into this is that Smart dolls are expensive up front, but they are also continually expensive as well. If you buy clothes from independent makers, sometimes it's more expensive than the Smart doll site, sometimes it's less expensive. But just know that like clothes are going to cost a ton of money, sometimes more than you would even spend on human clothes. So keep that in mind. And the attitude that I'm approaching buying her first outfit for Moment is the same attitude that I went in with for the doll, which was, if I'm only gonna have one outfit, what do I wanna buy, right? So we're gonna look for one solid outfit that she can wear across all seasons, that I can take a million photos of and not get tired. That's really important to think about. I know there's a bunch of you guys who buy the dolls and get lured in by like the lingerie and the underwear, and you just buy a bunch of underwear sets, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not very versatile. You can't take them like hiking and have them in their underwear. I mean, you can, right? I'm sure somebody will do that, and that's what their account will be exclusively. But think about an outfit that is versatile, that you can use in any setting, right? For me, when I started, I got her one pair of shoes. I got her the green corduroy slacks, and she had a white t-shirt. I then bought her a fleece sweater, and that was her outfit. And I was happy with that. You know, I said I wanted her to look like an adventurer or like a scientist, an outdoor type, and I think I achieved that with her first outfit, so I was happy. Did I stop at that? No, I bought her more stuff, but that's a different story. Anyway, so we're picking out our first outfit for Moment. Let's see, we've got this uniform, which is probably all the pieces you need. We got tops, bottoms, footwear, innerwear, right? So like everything. So we're just gonna pick out very basic stuff that we think would be good in all environments. So we need a top first. They used to have, is this it? No, they used to have a halter top that I really liked, but I think the Henley is a good substitute. So here's a $60 Henley. We're going to add that to our cart. Cool. Buy more to qualify for free shipping? I guess so. Okay, let's go back. So we've got the shirt, and I mean, there's tons. Like you can browse these tops for a while, right? Let's look at some bottoms. I'm a big fan of just the plain like jean shorts or something like that. I think they're versatile. They go with anything, right? So if it was me, I'd probably get like, those are a little bit too bright. I'd probably get something like this, honestly. But let's pretend that I'm splurging the extra $10. So here we got some shorts. We get to see what they look like. They don't come with a belt, but they still look good. Kanata actually has a pair of shorts. I really like her shorts. I think the shorts are the best. So we're gonna add those to the cart. We're gonna keep looking. So we've got the top, the bottom. They do come with their own underwear, which is good. Oh, we need shoes. Okay, so he's got a ton of shoe options. These are really cool. He's got crystal pumps. Those are neat, but they also aren't very versatile, right? So I want to make sure that whatever we get, we can use it in a lot of different settings. all the pumps are super cool. These Millennium boots are super cool. But again, I gotta be more practical. He used to have these like just little brown loafer things. Like Kanata's got these little loafer things. And I feel like those were like the cheaper option, but anyway, I guess all we have is this for 140 bucks. Actually less, but 140 bucks for boots. So let's just pretend. So we're adding the red boots. You know, you can look at sort of how the outfit's gonna go. That looks good. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we've got the outfit all figured out. The next thing that we wanna think about is accessories. And normally, especially if you're getting started, I do not blame you if you don't wanna do all this in one shopping trip or if you space things out. That is absolutely a sensible way to do things. So don't follow my example, especially if you don't have, you know, a wad of cash to blow. But since this is just one video, we're just gonna do one-stop shop all at Smartdoll Japan. We gotta think about accessories. Now there's a ton of accessories to get through, so you have to decide, you know, if you feel like you need them or you just want them or kind of what your motivation is, right? One of the things that I knew I was gonna be doing with Kanata was taking lots of pictures, and one thing that I didn't think about the first time I got her was all of the hand packs. The hand packs are probably the first accessory that I would 100% recommend to anybody that's buying these things. So I bought hand pack 1 and 2 because I thought that those had the most interesting like handsets in them, and I think he has up to 3. Oh no, he has 4 now. So he has 4 different hand packs that you can start with, and each one is about $90 or 100 bucks. But I think the hand packs are probably the one accessory that I would recommend for anyone, because their little hands that are like this are really good for just like basic posing, and you can do a lot with them. There's no reason to buy, you know, these if you're short on cash, or you know, you think the poses that they can do with the hands are enough. But if you go and check out another one of my videos where I do like 30 poses with each of these hand packs, like there is so much that you can do, and they're really cool. And I think it just adds a lot of like, it adds a lot of character to the doll in like their poses and what they can do in pictures, right? Since we're pretending that we're getting started with the dolls in the first place and we've got tons of infinite money, I'm just gonna look and say, you know, which hand pack do I think is the most fun? I think the ones with the grippy hands and these like flared out hands is probably the best. I think I bought 2 and then I bought 1 later on. So I'm gonna add 2 to my cart. And there are a lot of other optional parts too, like accessories that you can get for him. One of those things he offers is like these varying bust sizes. I didn't get one of those right up front because I thought that the dolls were fine on their own. I did eventually buy a large one for a different doll for more diverse pictures, but I ended up selling it because I just thought it was way too big, and it was like just so much in your face. There's nothing else to like focus on. But there's nothing wrong with these. If you want an optional bust, you can get one of those too. That's like $80. And then you, of course, you know, you can buy additional eyes, and stands is something to consider. You don't need a stand right up front because at least when I bought mine, he was still including them with the dolls. So hopefully he's still doing that. And the stand is okay. This one actually broke at the end. I just put some hot glue on it and it works perfectly. But yeah, it's just a single pole, and it keeps them upright because they're pretty sturdy on their own. So the stand you don't need, but these do help you do additional things. You know, if you wanted them posing like flying or something like that, you could do that. So at least on the Smartdoll store, that kind of wraps up what I would be looking to purchase on like my first go around. If you're shorter on money, I would probably get rid of the hand packs first, and then get rid of the shoes, and then probably the shirt. I think bottoms are harder to find, and there's tons of like tops available, and if she's wearing jeans all the time, but you change your shirt, like it feels like a different outfit. So the most important like clothing accessory or clothing/accessory that I would go with would be like a pair of bottoms that you really like. If you're short on money and you can only get one thing, that's what I would do. So going along with our pretend scenario, I've got my doll, I've got all my stuff in my cart. I'm ready to blow $900. So here I am, I'm checking out. I wrote my little note, you know, and then you click check out and you pay for it, and that's kind of it. So, you know, I hope I gave you guys a lot of things to think about when you're getting started with them. And that covers all of like the physical, like shopping and choosing aspect of the dolls. So the last thing I'll kind of talk about is what you want to do with them, right? So they're great, they're fun to look at, you know, and I like keeping them in my workspace, you know, they're fun as like decorations, but they're also really expensive decorations. So one of the things I like doing is regularly like taking photos and just sort of drawing inspiration from Kanata. I think honestly one of the best things that I've done in like the last 2 years was get on Instagram and just start posting pictures of her. I think the community is really great and there's some really awesome people out there. I'm super thankful to know so many of you guys. It's really been nice getting to know you, and just like sharing, you know, doll stuff, but also human stuff too. And so the community is really great. And so one of those things that I would challenge you to is if you do get one of these, absolutely, you know, show up to Instagram or some other social media site and share them with people. You know, people are really interested in these things, and you never know, you may end up meeting your best friend just because, you know, you showed off a doll in a social media post or something like that. But yeah, I think one of the most fun things about owning them is just doing different stuff with them. And it's okay if you don't take them, you know, to the coffee shop or out on your next hike or anything like that. But just, I think the way I explained it in one of my early videos was like, just having this little companion to do creative stuff with can be really like energizing. Not only is it something to do when I can't think of anything creative, you know, like when I'm in a block and I'm like, I should take photos of Kanata. But, you know, it also like inspires me to go try new things or do different things. Or, you know, if I need to get outside, then it's absolutely a reason for me to take Kanata and take some photos or something like that, you know. I think if you do end up deciding to get a smart doll, I hope that you're happy with them. They are really fun. I think, again, the biggest barrier to them is that they're just expensive. But I think owning one and being a part of a community and like the photos and like making clothes and buying clothes and things like that for them has been a really interesting and good experience overall for me. I think I've opened up a lot just through the experience. And maybe that's something else I'll talk about in the future. But I'd be surprised if owning one didn't change you in some way. I'd put it that way. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll absolutely get back to you. I try to respond to everybody's comment. You know, if you're searching for a doll or you're having a hard time picking, you know, let me know and I'll give you my input on them, or ask your friends, ask other people in the community what they think. But most of all, you know, just think about what you want to see in the doll and how you see that connection. And I think you'll be able to pick the right choice. So thanks again for watching, everybody. And thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I cannot believe that I made it this far. And I said before that if people keep subbing, I'll keep making videos, and I absolutely will. So this is definitely not going to be the last. I thought for a while I was going to be out of the game, but I'll keep making doll videos and Kanata will keep pestering me to do so. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.